All right. Let's get this going. Live. What's going on, Nick? What is going on? Get this going. All right. Check, check. Check. I think we're good. I think we are good. Is this? I feel like my camera is a little bit not in the correct spot. Also, why is my computer sideways? Like, why is my ceiling sideways? Like, that would be normal right there. I need to figure out what's going on with this. Okay, that looks more normal to me. Yeah, that looks more normal to me. What's going on, chat? All right, give me a second. Literally just started streaming. I got to get updated just like you guys are. I mean, I've been looking at some of our models today. Let's compare. Let's contrast. Man, the 17th and 18th could really be something. We could get snow back in the south. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I will get to questions in a second. I'm going to do what I do every stream, and that is go over everything first, and then I'll take questions. Okay, let me make sure my correct mics are hooked up here. Audio mixer looks like we are good. I already have 150 likes. Whoever's spamming, thank you. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs. All right, let's get going. Flip by you. Let me take a sip of this, though. Montana, Sea King, I'm not surprised. The Northwest in general is getting buried. All right. Leanne. What's going on? Philip. Shout out Phil with the P. What's going on, Indiana? Marie, did you hear about the blizzard in Japan? 4 feet of snow in 12 hours. Are you serious? No way. 4 feet in 12 hours? And more is falling. Is this near the Japan coast? Hokkaido. Let me see, because the Japan coast, I was talking about that the other day, has seen crazy snow in recent years. I cannot pronounce Hokkaido, Japan. Yeah. Yep. Not surprised. That specific area has been seeing over the last decade, 2 decades, more snow than they've seen their entire existence. So that's why I tell you guys, some people who have snow droughts here in the U.S., out of nowhere, you guys could have a 10-year stretch where you see like 10 inches of snow in North Carolina a year, or tons of snow back in the Mid-Atlantic. Climate, it just is takes time to kick in and kick out some places. So that's what's going on. All right, we're going to talk about our latest models. We're going to go over what's going on with our polar vortex. Still seeing a stratospheric polar vortex split. The Euro pulled back from it for a second. Now it's seeing it again. All models are showing it. Seeing a significant troughing as we get the models are going crazy again on our, I'll show you right here. Let's get into, I don't really care about the 18Z. Let's go to 12Z here. Let's go into surface temperature anomalies. Look at this here. This would be big news. If this were to happen, big if, huge if this were to happen, let me just get the right thing here. Sorry, guys. If this were to happen, this would be a chance for southern snow through this region again. So big if. We don't know if it's going to happen yet or not. But we'll talk about why. We'll look at our teleconnections, and we'll talk about, obviously you can see how negative they are. That's our AO. That's our NAO. Big signal between the 15th and the 19th on our AO and NAO. And our WPO, everything kind of aligns there, except for our PNA still being Pacific North American oscillation still being negative is a little bit weird. I think that cold air would actually come in farther west. Anyways, lots to talk about. Let's get into it. I'm going to go over the latest updates, and then I'm going to start taking all your questions. What's up, Charles? Santiago, just seeing who's in here first. Why does Pittsburgh miss out on all types of... Listen, Charles, if I had $1 for every time I had someone in a different part of the United States say, why do we always miss out on this? Why do we always miss out on this? It's random. Someone in my chat yesterday said, why does Chicago never get snow anymore? Chicago has been one of the snowiest cities if you took their last 15 years and you average them together, they have seen significantly above average snow. People have short memories. I'm not saying you do, but Pittsburgh is in way less of a snow drought than portions of the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast are. So trust me, you don't have the worst of it. But we're gonna have a chance here to get you some good snow, not just through the end of February, but through March as well. Hoping these Rhode Island snowstorms in the forecast hit. Praying for snow. Yeah, I know people in Rhode Island, Connecticut, been complaining. I hear it all. But let's talk about what's gonna happen here. Got you, Charles. It's because of the mountains. Mountains do mess up a lot of stuff. Okay. Here is our. You know what? I don't. Well, okay. Okay. First, we'll look at our latest GFS. Where do we have the snow falling? Let's just get right to it with this latest update. We'll talk about the snow. We'll talk about the severe weather that's happening right now in a second too. We have some special weather statements, some ice falling, some thunderstorms down in the Ohio, Tennessee Valley. We do have some big snow moving in across Minnesota, really just to the north of Minneapolis. Tons of stuff happening right now, so we're gonna get into that. Let's start with this. Here's our latest GFS. Okay, here's let's just go to the end of the run. Right, what is it seeing? Just to show you, yes, it is seeing a potential for snowfall between Charlotte and Raleigh and back out towards the North Carolina coast. Yes, at the very end of the run, it is seeing snow back down into Texas, maybe across some of these states here. Very end of the run. Take that with the biggest grain of salt you can find in your house. More realistic range would probably, somewhat realistic range would probably be in here. Again, big target up here in New England for snow. Pretty significant target through here in the Mid-Atlantic for snow. It does want to put huge snow up here through the Midwest. We'll see if we do have this gap of snow in here in Ohio, Indiana, and southern Illinois. There might be a gap there. The Euro kind of thinks that. Although we do have a little bit more model consensus on the Euro and the GFS on these states out here in the plains. These are your plains. I include this. Yesterday I forgot, guys. I was in the Midwest too. Okay, that's included. I don't count Missouri in the Midwest, but that's fine. Some people do. So a little bit more consensus on that. We're also watching a potential big, or two major low pressure systems moving through, storm systems moving through the Southwest as we get into late next week. That would bring heavy rainfall for low elevations, heavy snowfall for high elevations. That would really help the drought down there in the Southwest. And potentially drop feet of snow in the plains and up here in the mountains of Colorado. So that's your latest GFS. This is our most realistic time frame. You can see there, Kansas might get pretty lucky here, and we'll see what happens. Shout out Matt, you might get a little bit of snow there. Okay. More importantly, I want to look at our 18Z of our GFS of our European. Our European obviously does better here. Once I'm finished going over this, guys, I'm gonna start taking questions. Don't worry. Got to do this first. We're gonna talk about Philly tomorrow. We're gonna talk about what's going on tonight too. Let me just go through each of these things. These are all the updates. Let's just go to the end of our latest European run. This is just our 18Z, so this is as far as it goes out. Obviously, big snow signal through South Dakota, through Minnesota, including the Twin Cities, really from Green Bay north or north central Wisconsin. We'll see what happens down there. Minnesota, Madison, Wisconsin, Milwaukee may miss out on the heaviest snow. My throat. Michigan, looking pretty good. Again, southern Michigan, southern Wisconsin. We'll see if you guys get that extra snow. Same with the Euro, huge target through New England here. The Euro and the GFS, this is big, guys, agree on this location right here, meaning parts of northern Kentucky, West Virginia, northern Virginia, mid-Atlantic, and Missouri for a streak of snow there. And now I want to see what's happening at the end of this 18Z of the Euro. Let's move this forward, and okay, here we go. So this is interesting. I need to compare this really quickly to see if we've seen a shift south. The Euro was starting to shift our snowstorm next weekend to the north, meaning most of the mid-Atlantic might have missed out. And I just want to see really quickly what this shift looks like of the 18Z compared to the 12Z at the same time. So our 18Z is at 144, so we need this at 156. So I'll show you the differences in our models here. Here's 156. Actually, this is going to be 6 off. This is only going to be 6 off. So we'll actually go here. We'll go to 144. Okay. Here is our 12. That's our 12Z. Here's the update to our 18Z. 12, 18. An even farther shift to the north, but our low pressure system this is a more significant storm. Is this really, wow, is this really this? There's no way this is this drastic of a difference between the 18 and 12Z. 150 from the 12. That would equate to 144 from 12Z. This is, wait. This is a significant change. Oh, you know what, guys? It's because I'm on the GFS. Jesus. Okay, that didn't make any sense. That literally made no sense to me. Models don't change that hard. Models don't change that significantly. Okay, sorry guys, I just tricked you. I was like that. Okay. Okay, this to me makes more sense. Here we go. Sorry, guys. Sorry to get your hopes up there. 12Z, 18Z. What's the difference? Heavier snow in Ohio with our update 18Z. Remember, 18Z isn't a fresh model set, but do we see any shift north or south? I would say it looks a little bit stronger in our 18Z. A little bit more potential for some. Let's see. This is a tough one. Putting a little bit heavier snow into the Philly area, Baltimore, 12Z. Sorry, I just need to assess this. I really need to. Okay. It's stretching. We'll see. Some potential with that 18Z as well. I needed to do that for my own sake. We need to wait. I'll show you what the 12Z did today with this, guys. This is the craziness that's happening. There's our 12Z. This is an issue with our Euro 12Z today. And I told you guys it could happen. If we started to see this tilting a little bit more, you get a warm sector that moves up into the DMV, and that could bring a lot of rain into your area instead of snow next week. For people spamming, asking questions, Seattle, it's not going to do anything. I told you guys I'm going over this, and then I'm going to answer your questions. I know it's like 99% of you are chill, but I'm showing you stuff, and then I'm going to go to chat. I literally just started streaming. Okay, so yes, so we really have to watch that trend. Now, this right here, guys, out in La La Land on the Euro, this right here would be all-time record-breaking snowfall for some areas. It's very far out, so we don't really know if this is going to happen or not. But this would just be absolutely insane. And if you guys want to see how ridiculously insane this would be, let me just show you for fun. Just for fun. This is far out, so there's not really a great. I don't think there's a great chance of this happening. There's a possibility. But let me just show you for fun what this would look like snowfall if we were to see something like this actually happen. Let's go into our Cuchero. And let's go to, here we go. You guys see what it says up here in Boston? 50 inches of snow. Yeah, this would be a crazy storm. This would drop 3 to 4 feet of snow through this entire area. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But there's the signal. There's the signal. So if you were to go to our GFS also agrees 3 to 4 3 to 4 feet of snow up here, and monstrous snow down here, obviously. So, you know, here's our latest. This was our Euro 12Z, by the way. This is our Euro 12Z for totals. Yeah, insanity. New York City, it still wants to give close to a foot of snow with early next week, but we'll have to wait and see about that. I'm not sold on it yet. All right, I'm going to start taking some questions. Lastly, let me just show you what's going on with this storm. I'll take some questions. Let's get into United States. Yeah, this is the crazy look from our Euro 12Z, but it's because the end of that run has that massive winter storm. I'm not going to trust that far out. So here is our current system that is moving through. Up here, this is snow. This is snow up here, guys. Up here in the north, obviously. This is some of our severe weather down here. And this is, we do have some ice right now falling in these regions. Nothing super serious to worry about right now. I do want to show you our latest HRRR. I know a lot of people, I already saw some questions on this, so I'll answer it real quick. Here is our latest 00Z HRRR for the storm that is moving through tonight. This is happening right now. Here we can actually go, we'll go out. We'll start back in the mid-Atlantic region. So here we go. Here's this ice. This is going to be pushing into midnight. This is going to be around midnight. You can see this ice forming here. This is where we're worried about severe weather. We do have an upgrade to a slight risk for tornadoes and severe weather through this region, so we have to watch that. Getting into midnight, this is when things are going to really start to crank up. This is around 7 a.m. Again, waking up in the morning, going to work between 7 and 9, we could have some seriously strong cells moving through Tennessee and Kentucky. That's going to be an issue. Here is our latest freezing rain metric from the HRRR. Not much has changed of where it thinks this ice is going to be. Central to northern Ohio, your ice has gone up a little bit. Still significant ice through this region. I mean, this hasn't changed much on the HRRR. The Euro thinks a lot more ice than this. I'll tell you that, though. So if you're in these areas, just be wary of that. I'd try to stay off the roads if you can. And then here's your latest update from the HRRR on expected snowfall totals. Again, my weather app's been saying 2 to 4. I was at work today in Philadelphia, and all my friends were like, "We're gonna get 4 inches of snow," and I was like, "No, no, we're not. No, we're not." And they're like, "That's what my weather app said," and I said, "It's wrong." Here's the latest update from the HRRR. 100 inch in Philly. I don't even know if we're gonna get that. Potential for some snow up here in New York City and Long Island. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy up here. As we get up into the Northeast, this is where, with this, guys, there's another snow system right behind this and one right behind it. So if you don't get any snow from this, there's 2 more following this, and they're both going to be a little bit farther south. Nothing crazy. You can see our snowfall totals expected with this. Nothing insane. It's like a big blanket of like 2 to 5 inches, not even 1 to 3 inches, 2 to 4 inches on the HRRR. We can take a look at our 18Z Euro. And it's very similar, nothing crazy. The Euro wants to do like 1 to 5 up here, nothing crazy at all. Second winter storm, huge different story. Big snow. And then the third one that wants to come up, that main snowfall is going to be through here. We're not loaded enough though. This is going to be much heavier snow than you're seeing on there. All right, let's get to it. Let's just go and look at we'll look at our Euro 12Z for now. Woo! Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs. Sandy, I appreciate you. Rashan. I'm going to say it wrong. Rashan, appreciate you. Donna. Just want to know about Wisconsin. Yeah, we can... let me just keep up regions here so you guys can see this much easier. Where's my... Where's my Midwest? Great Lakes. There you go. First snow system. Here is what we'll look at I guess we can look at our 18Z of our Euro. First snow system. Here's our expected totals from the Euro. So this is just coming up. Nothing crazy. You can see it up there. There you go. Nothing crazy expected from this first system for Wisconsin. Second one could be a different story. Big totals. Big totals from that second system. Milwaukee's really going to be on that line of getting a lot of snow or just getting a little bit. But pretty major snow for most of the rest of Wisconsin on that second system. This first system is moving through right now. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, guys. Here is your National Weather Service snowfall, potential snowfall. So this is straight from the National Weather Service. You can see nothing major here. Northeastern Minnesota is supposed to win with this first system and parts of New England. Second system, this is from the National Weather Service. You can see big snow through the Twin Cities. And then you can see this is the end of the run. So you'll see bigger totals in this. The run stops like here, but you'll see bigger totals in this as we move forward. So second system is expected to be much bigger. But again, going back to this first one, you can see here really an inch, maximum 2 down here. Not expecting much. Everyone in my office was like, we're getting 2 to 4 inches of snow. I'm like, I don't know what our app is looking at. Let me actually just, is my app still saying that? This is why you don't trust them. My weather app says 2 to 3 inches of snow, guys, where I live. It's so wrong. It's so wrong. Well, actually, I mean, that I think that's what I would put as the high end, which is basically what they're putting as the high end here. Look at the high end for Wisconsin next week. Big snow totals. All right. Chicago, I fly out in the morning. I don't think you have much to worry about. Most of this bad weather with this system is staying up to your north. There's a tiny bit of ice that could fall in Chicago, but it's expected to be less than 1/10 of an inch, which we call like a glaze. I think the airports would be able to handle that. Most of your ice is off to your east. Look at all these lightning strikes we have moving through Indiana right now. I did want to show you guys. This is something we need to look at. Here's our updated severe weather. Day 1 now. Can you guys see this? Updated severe weather right there. So that is a slight risk now for portions of northern Tennessee, right north of Nashville, and then portions of central and southern Kentucky. So the latest is thunderstorms with isolated severe weather potential will be possible tonight from Tennessee and Kentucky into southern Ohio and western West Virginia. The 2% tornado risk was expanded eastward across southern Kentucky and northern Tennessee. With this update, with no changes made to the overall categorical look. Thank you, mods. I'll get to you in a second, YouTube. A conditional tornado risk is possible overnight. Okay. Again, slight risk here. This has now become a little bit more significant than expected. Not really. Well, we knew this was possible, but here it is. So definitely stay weather alert in this area. Tornadoes are possible tonight. If I see any pop up while I'm on stream with you over the next couple hours, which is possible, I will tell you. We have no tornado warnings, no tornado watches right now. Just some thunderstorms rolling through. Nothing severe to look out for right now. So, but I'll let you know if I see any pop up. I have live updates going on. So, Carlson, I appreciate you. Pretty sure they're throwing a dart on our list for forecast in Oklahoma. About how much snow will Long Island see this weekend, and then how much do you think Tuesday? Is it hard to tell? But yeah, I appreciate that, Nick. We can take a look. Here's our 18Z. Long Island's really not expecting more than even a dusting to an inch with this first system. Second system, you could get 1 to 2 inches. That's what's being forecast by the Euro right now. Nothing major. That storm could shift a little bit farther south, though. This one, I think, does have the possibility to shift a little farther south. So we'll see. And then the third one, yeah, it's, that one's out there, a little bit out of forecasting range. If it continues to shift north, which it is trending slightly north on the Euro, you could end up with a big snowfall and I'm talking like 6 to 9 inches or more on Long Island if that Euro trend continues north. So we're watching that for Long Island. These next 2 snowstorms, This one tomorrow and the one on Saturday isn't supposed to be anything significant, but the one early next week could be significant for you guys. Is forecast to be right now, but we know how things change. It's snowing, thundering, lightning, and Iowa right now. Yeah, I can believe that. So we can go here, more layers. Let's see where we actually have snow falling. So we've got freezing rain. Let me get this. Let me get this to where we are right now. Yeah, I don't see snow falling in Indiana right now, but I do see like a mix falling, and I do see lightning strikes on our radar here. So you can see big lightning strikes right here, all over the map, just north of Indiana, or Indianapolis. I mean, up towards Peru. Hartford City, Marion, over towards Anderson. Lots of lightning. Do you guys actually have snow falling through there? It's not showing up on any of my radars as snow. Could be though. It's weird sometimes. Jeff, I appreciate you. What's the deal with Long Island, who always gets missed? Long Island doesn't always get missed. Long Island is an island surrounded by Atlantic water. So it has a lot less chance of getting good snowfall because of where it's geographically located. So Long Island gets missed just as much as it should. There's a reason stuff turns to mixing and ice or rain all the time on Long Island. It's because you're surrounded by water, warm Atlantic waters. That, some of that Gulf Stream pushes up into that area as well. Let's see here. Are we going to see rain for Atlanta and some flooding? It's possible. You can see it on our... Well, here's our temperature anomalies. Here is our... Let's get into our total quantitative precipitation. This is... Let's just push forward through about a week. You can see where our main target for precipitation is down here. That's going to be parts of southern Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley. You can see down here in the southeast, especially northern Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, definitely Tennessee, Kentucky. You guys, we could see some flash flooding events. Now, a big concern would be this one right here. This would be severe weather, potential for some severe flash flooding. This would be early next week, Monday or Tuesday next week. This we have to watch. We're going to start seeing the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, Storm Prediction Center. They're going to start putting some flags on this because this is probably going to be pretty severe if we keep this look. This is going to be a pretty dangerous situation down there early next week. Fred, I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't like the look at that either, Brett. I do not like the look at that either. The snowstorm on the 17th looks nasty. Yeah. I highly doubt this is going to happen. It's not impossible though. We've seen this in the past, but these are super, super rare type of, this is literally what we would call a mega blizzard. You can see these isobar lines. This would be a mega blizzard, and this would be a blizzard that would impact like so many states, tens of millions of people. So, and look at that ice, right? Like, I mean, the odds that this happens is low, but the fact that we have a signal for it is pretty crazy. Do you see this ice? How ridiculous this is? 2 inches of ice. This would be, this would be the apocalypse for this area. The literal apocalypse. So let's hope that this signal adjusts itself over the coming days, guys, which I think it will. I have any of you seen yet the TikToks and YouTube shorts of people showing this and being like, we're going to see 3 feet of snow across the entire eastern seaboard and 2 inches of ice, and everyone's going to lose their power. You guys seen any of those TikToks yet? I know you have, Brett. 100 mile per hour sustained winds across the entire United States. Everyone's going to blow away, and all their cars and belongings. Yeah, no. If we saw this, it'd be pretty bad. But luckily, it's very far out, and we have plenty of time for this forecast to change. There's a 90, I'd give it a 95% chance or above that we see this de-amplify, the look of this de-amplify. But we've seen crazy storms like this in the past, so it's not impossible. That look maybe stays around, but it's just going to be. The odds aren't very good. You're not saying I don't listen anymore. Thanks, Megan. Thanks for the follows and subs, guys. Nope, return that right back. Yeah, return to sender. Exactly. Exactly, Leanne. Yeah, the snow look. It's quick. Someone tell Jim Cantori where the thunder snow is. I know, he loves himself some thunder snow. We all saw that video. How much do you think Bucks County gets in the next week? It all depends with that early next week storm. We're going to end up with 1.5 feet of snow, or we're going to end up with like 4 inches. These models are wobbling the storm over the mid-Atlantic. Typical for that latitude, for that to happen. Cold air, biggest snow always wants to hug just to the north of the mid-Atlantic, but when you get it down here, you can see huge totals. What do you think the probability of Long Island sees a big snowstorm from a Tuesday storm? I'd say over 50%. I think it still looks pretty good. Well, I give 40-50%. Yeah. You're with the slight trend north on the euro, that's a good look for you guys. I'll tell you that. What's Pittsburgh looking at? Our 18Z doesn't want to put any snow into Pittsburgh. Our 12Z, a little bit farther out, does give Pittsburgh a chance for 4 to 5 inches of snow as we get moving to the middle of next week. That's a possibility for sure. On a serious note, is Middle Tennessee likely to get tornadoes? We're watching. It looks, we're expecting the worst of it to stay just to your north. So here's our current radar. You can see these lightning strikes going on right now. We can make these lightning strikes live. Live lightning strikes. And here's you've got some winds pulling from the south. Here's kind of your wind shear right now that we're experiencing. And you've got this instability really meeting just to the north of Tennessee's border, right through here. But you can see we have some strong thunderstorms, some pretty significant convection up here that may go through, south and western Kentucky as well. So I think the slight risk, we'll see. I think it may have I think it maybe should be a little bit more like that up into the north and west based on where our current severe weather is right now. I want to show you guys something real quickly with the winds here. And you can see the wind shear just by looking at this wind map. Most of our winds down here are moving in this direction. And then you've got weird winds moving in this direction. You got weird winds moving in this direction. There's tons of misdirections in the winds here. Let's actually look at here we go. Here's a better representation. Although this doesn't look up to date, but you can sort of see the shear in here. We'll see how that develops. Nothing serious is going on right now. I do think any sort of that. I do think your tornado potential is to the north of Tennessee, though. Loudest thunder I've ever heard in Owensboro, Kentucky. Hey, I know someone else who lives in Owensboro, Kentucky. Is it significant right now? Let me go back to this radar. Let's get off of here. Oh, wow. Oh, Owensboro's got a nice little cell over them. Look at this right here. 1 second, guys. Hold up. Nice little storm. I'm looking at the radar. And there's just a beast of a thunderstorm over your head. I'm looking at the lightning strikes. You just got hundreds of lightning strikes around you. Oh my god. I know. Yeah, you've got a I was someone in my chat mentioned Owensboro. He's like, loudest thunder I've ever heard in Owensboro, and I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That should be moving out of your area soon, but there's some more convection that could bubble up to your southwest, but we'll see. Yeah. All right, see. All right, confirmed. Owensboro's popping off. Not too far. Evansville. Are all these cities in Kentucky just named after like white boy names with borough and ville after them? Owensboro, Evansville. Light snow in Northwest Washington currently. Yeah, I can see that. Some of that might. What's the temperatures in Seattle? We could get some of that snow down into Seattle tonight into tomorrow morning. You can see the. You guys can't see on. Sorry, you guys can't see what I'm looking at right now on my radar. You can see it on YouTube, not on TikTok, but there is a low spinning right off the coast of Washington, right off the coast of Seattle. Philly forecast, again, not expecting anything significant with these next. I mean, if you were to get an inch or two, that would be you'd be exceeding expectations with this winter storm tomorrow and Saturday. The thing we're watching is the Monday and Tuesday system coming up. That, so 4 or 5 days. Models are not in total agreement, but there's some signals for big snow through Philly. I'll show you this really quickly in the panels. Here's our European ensemble. We'll go to our panels just to show you what some of these models are doing. Total snow members. Okay, here's 50. So let's just look at our 12Z. And let's just go out so we can see that system. So here's our members 26 to 50. And I'll show you what these different models show. Okay, this one shows about a foot into Philly. This one shows about a foot into Philly. This one shows about 6 inches into Philly. This one shows about 3 inches into Philly. 3 inches into Philly. A foot into Philly. A foot into Philly. 6 inches into Philly. Like 2 inches into Philly. 6 inches into Philly. Nothing into Philly, basically. 6 inches into Philly. 6 inches into Philly. A foot into Philly. 2 inches into Philly. A foot into Philly. An inch into Philly, a foot into Philly, about 9 inches into Philly, nothing into Philly, a foot into Philly, a foot into Philly, 2 inches into Philly, 9 inches into Philly, nothing into Philly. What you can see is a lot of models see 6 inches to a foot into Philly. I can go back to, we can look at our 1 to 25 as well. These are all of our latest update. These are all the model possibility runs, and the ensemble is going to average these out. So I'll circle the ones that show a ton of snow into Philly here. I'll just do that. These all show 6 inches to a foot or more into Philly. All the ones I'm circling right now. So just to show you kind of the model spread on these. This is a lot. This is a lot of chances for big snow early next week in Philly. You're going to see, okay, so how many see big snow? Well, here are all the ones that see big snow. That's almost all of them. So, but I'd say it's almost a half-half split. I said it the other day, like I have a 60 to 40 feeling that Philly's going to end up with a big snow. It really is like a 60-40 right now. 40% of the models are thinking it's going to be a disappointment, meaning we'll say 2 to 4. 60% of the models are thinking it's going to be 6 inches to a foot or more of snow. And that is how we come up with our European ensemble. Obviously, our main one that we look at here when we go into here you go. That is how we see this. So this is our European ensemble for next week. Our ensemble does the work for us, averages out everything we just looked at. So this is going to average out everything we just looked at, and with all of that average, what does it think what is the total that it thinks Philadelphia has the best odds of coming up with? And it thinks about 7 inches. So that would be our biggest snowfall of the year so far in Philly. And it also thinks there's another storm right after it that maybe brings 3 more inches. So, but again, that's how ensembles work. You know what I'm saying? Here, I'll show you Weather Bell for a second, guys, because I know tons of people are asking about totals. It's an easy way to show you on here. Suzette, what's going on? I appreciate you. Jillian Brooks, Megan, Brittany, Freddie, thank you guys. I'll show you guys some totals here because I know a lot of people are wondering. So let's just do Ohio Valley for now. We'll look at let's go to our deterministic run. We can, I guess we can look at our latest 18Z GFS, but I think the Euro is going to have a different take, a significantly different take. So we'll just do it through the middle of next week because I don't want to get too crazy. No more snow for Florida, please God. Well, lucky for you, the odds of Florida getting more snow is very low. Can I show other areas other than Philly? What are you talking? Have I not been doing that the entire stream? Did you just enter? You must have just entered literally when I started talking about Philly. And also the reason we're talking about the Mid-Atlantic in New England is because that is who's expecting to get the worst or the most significant impacts from these winter storms. So, I could talk about South Carolina if you want me to. Not much going on down there right now, except for maybe the severe weather chance as we push into early and middle of next week. We will be talking about the Southeast. Hello from South Bend. What's going on? North Carolina snow, there's a chance way far out in your future, but it's too far out to take seriously yet. 17th and 18th, we'll see. It looks like basically all the Euro ensembles say for Long Island is a foot. Yeah, that's why I said, Long Island is at a pretty good spot. Has a pretty good chance right now of getting good snow from that early next week storm. Let's go with... Oh, I just missed it. So the snow moved away from the Appalachians. There was never much projected. You can see at the end of this run, obviously, the GFS thinks huge snow down here. Too far out. I don't want to take this too seriously right now. 10 inches into Charlotte. I'm taking the under on that, guys. I'm taking the under on that. Currently icing here in Central Ohio. Yep, not surprised. How much are we supposed to get? Models are disagreeing pretty heavy on it. I think most models think Central to Northern Ohio could get anywhere between a 10th to a 30th of an inch. Here is our latest Euro on that. Yep, somewhere between a 10th, a glaze, all the way up to a 30th of an inch, which isn't terrible, but it's not the best. It's not the best. Once you get up over a quarter inch, it gets pretty bad. Once you get to a half inch or up, it's terrible. Only rain in St. Louis. Yeah, snow staying very far to the north. This first snow system is keeping the snow very far to the north. Here's our snow, expected snow with our first snow system. Very far to the north and not a lot of it. Actually, I'll show you based on the Euro because this is a better model. What about Baltimore? Yeah, Baltimore's not really expected to see anything until early next week. But the problem for Baltimore is that Euro is trending north. And if it trends any farther north, Baltimore's going to end up with nothing. So we'll have to see what happens with that trend. We'll take 10 and just send it. Connor's been ignoring me all night. That's the first message I've seen for you. Oh, there's one up there. Yeah, I never ignore anyone. I just only respond to messages I see as I look back up. Betty Boop, appreciate you, Suzette. Thank you, Suzette. What'd you say? I have to scroll up. DMV outlook next week. Yeah, DMV may end up with all rain. It depends. Like I said, that yeah, guys, if any of you ever think I'm ignoring you, there's 100% chance. The only people who I ever ignore are people who spam, like, and it's asking the same question a few times. Like, that's not a big deal. But the people who, like, ask the same questions, like, you see, like, 40 of them in 10 seconds. Or people who put, like, all caps and like, a paragraph. Other than that, I don't ignore anyone. I just answer as quick as I can. Yeah, the problem is the Euro sees that trough amplifying a little bit and tilting a little bit next week. And if that happens, we're going to have an issue with snow in the DMV. So here's our latest look. It's digging a little bit, and it's digging a little bit. You can see it here. It's beginning to dig a little bit back here, and this warm sectors being pushed up just ever so slightly. And if that continues, now originally this was flat like this and it moved across, and that's why we had snow through almost southern Virginia as well. That warm sector starting to push up a little bit in these model trends. Now we may see the 00Z tonight, and the Euro may pull the snow to the south. I think it actually, for some reason, my gut tells me it is gonna, but we'll see. But we don't want this trend to continue, or else this is going to end up being all ice and rainfall for the DMV. You're going to see no more. You're going to see no snow from any of these three systems. But there's lots that's going to change between now and this storm. And I don't know, my gut says this might actually shift a little bit to the south and give you guys some. You're good, Eric. What trend do you think is more likely for the third storm? It's hard. I should say I think it's going to continue north, because when the Euro starts a trend, it usually continues. But the GFS has the snow farther south, and what's also something that happens a lot is the GFS and Euro will average out their difference, and I think that's more likely to happen. So I think the Euro might go farther south, and we might see a wider snow band. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the subs, guys. DMV, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. Did I say that correctly? Here. I didn't mean to open. Is this going to open? 1 second, guys. So, over here. So this would be I consider like this the DMV region. Right through here, where you have all these major cities from, I don't know how big Richmond is, but to DC, to Baltimore. You got Delaware up here. Virginia Beach, very active area, DMV. Technically, I guess it should include all of Virginia, but DC, Maryland, Virginia. Thank you. Well, okay, but I include Delaware in the DMV because DC is in Maryland. So it seems like that doesn't seem like it makes much sense. You know what I mean? DMV, you're just saying Maryland twice by saying DC, Maryland, Virginia. That's like saying Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I mean, I know DC is like its own thing, but let's be honest, guys. It's in Maryland. Let's be honest. People are like, no, it's not in Maryland. It's in Maryland. Yeah. Yeah. Baltimore ain't DMV. I guess, guys, I've only lived up in the Mid-Atlantic region for about 2 years now, so I'm still learning it, but if I were like to circle the DMV, I would say like here, but obviously I wouldn't include Philly. Obviously, you guys think it's like this, so whatever. What's going on, Cody? I'm always getting into arguments with my chat about regions. Like the whole Missouris and the Midwest thing yesterday. Get out of here. Baltimore's not considered the DMV, at least. That's what the consensus is around here. Yeah, but that doesn't make any sense because you're saying Virginia, like a whole state, but then you're saying DC, Maryland. DC is literally in Maryland. I know it's its own thing, but it's in Maryland. And then the whole state of Virginia. None of that makes any sense. If you really think about it, DC, Maryland, Virginia doesn't make any sense. But I guess you guys have your own idea. Yeah, Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia just makes more sense for the DMV, but whatever. Why is the Apple weather app so bad? Because it consistently cherry picks models throughout the day and doesn't stay with the same one. If the weather app through our winter months just stuck with the Euro, it would be correct a lot. And if it during our summer months, in springs, If it just stuck with the GFS, it would be correct a lot. But it goes from the NAM to the HER to the this to the that because it's stupid. And it needs someone to that app needs to be deleted, and we need a team of meteorologists to sit down with the programmer and create something new. So what are we predicting for the Washington, D.C. and VA, Maryland suburbs? Again, you might guys have the chance of ending up with all ice and rain. If this warm sector, you can see it here, continues to shift north. But my gut tells me this is actually going to come back down south a little bit because the GFS is farther south, and what does happen a lot is those models average. You take the average of them. T-Swizzle Landon. Suzette popping off. Thank you, Suzette. I lived in DMV for 40 years. It's actually North Virginia and part of Maryland. The Beltway is 60 miles around DC. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So you probably get it the most. I mean, guys, I could just go this. What's considered the DMV? Why is this happening so much in my streams? The DMV region, this is according to our Google AI, or Washington metropolitan area includes Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. So, again, I get it, but for it to say, so it's Washington, for it to say it's the Washington, D.C. metro, but then the entire state of Maryland and Virginia, why not just say Maryland and Virginia? Because D.C. is in Maryland. It's smushed in between them. It's saying a city and then two states. And if you said Maryland, that would include Baltimore. So, sorry, there you go. So, I don't care. I think what the Orb Queen said, I'm going to stick with her. That's fine. That's fine. Now enough. Let's talk about snow and ice and tornadoes. Speaking of that, let's make sure we don't have anything severe down right now. Nothing severe. We do have a special weather statement just to the north and east of Owensboro. A half-inch hail falling. Half-inch hail falling just to the north and east of Owensboro, guys. This would include Cloverport, Hawesville, Tell City, some other areas around there. You know who you are. Hardensburg. So beware. It's coming. Knoxville, it's probably falling in right now. Kentucky. Altoona, PA now, and bracing for a freezing rain. It could be bad in Altoona, yes. Yep. You should be under a warning, yeah. Yeah. Do not plan on driving. Let's... Yeah. Altoona, let me actually see here real quick. 1 second, guys. Yeah, Altoona's right in smack dab in that area they think could get the worst of the ice. Hopefully, it's not as bad as they're projecting. Hopefully, it's not as bad as they're projecting. Flying out Friday after supper. How's the weather going to be? What's going on, Julie? Fab Graham, I appreciate you. Let me see here. I got you, Julie, 1 second. Valeria, Kelly. Thank you, guys. Philly Outlook, I got you in a second. Makefield. Flying out Friday after supper. How's the weather going to be and temps in Florida, St. Pete area? Let's go take a look. Let's move down into our southeast. Let's go to our GFS. Friday looks nice and dry. I mean, you can always get a random shower moving through. It's Florida, but through the entire weekend looks beautiful down there. Temperature-wise, you're probably going to be pretty warm. You're sitting in a ridge here. I mean, look at these temps. St. Pete. Yeah, your lows are in the 60s. Lows in the 60s. Lows in the 60s. Yeah. Lows in the 60s. Highs stay in the high 70s. That entire time. It's warm. It's very warm. Very warm. Very dry. I'd say it's a pretty good beach weekend. No problem. No problem. The Orb Queen. Do you think the storm on Saturday could go more south to Chicago? Let's get out of here. The Saturday one. So here we go. So here's our 18. Well, let's go. Our 18Z Euro is going to be our best one to look at for that. Not seeing a great chance of it. We can look at our ensemble, so we can see if there are any trends that suggest that. So if we go to our Great Lake region and we go to our Saturday system, even our ensemble doesn't give you much of a shot for snow in Chicago. And this is averaging 50 runs together. It still only gives you a chance for like an inch. So with that being said, I'd say your odds are not very good. They're pretty bad, actually. That you're probably gonna get a little bit of ice from that. It's like the worst case. That's like the worst situation. The low is going through Brownstown, Indiana. Can we see the spin on the radar here? Let's see. Let's see our satellite. You probably can see it on our satellite. It's weird because we don't have really these rotating winds. Your low pressure right now, the actual center of this low, guys, would probably be... Yeah, the actual center of this low right now that's bringing the storm is up here. There it is. In southeastern Minnesota. Yeah, that's your low. That's your low right there. Southeastern Minnesota. And then we've got all these storms out ahead of it. You've kind of got a separate one down here, I guess. But your main system is still up there in southeastern Minnesota. Now look, you can kind of see it when this comes through here on our Euro. This was earlier in the day. This was a little bit earlier in the day. You can actually see our low right here. There we go. You can see our low right here. So this has just moved out a little bit farther to the east. Would the 00Z Euro model be similar to what you mean if a north shift were to happen, bigger snow? Yeah, so yes. So you can see this crazy storm we have out here in the... appreciate you, Valeria. This crazy snowstorm we have out here in the 00Z. Watch what happens when we get a really negatively tilting storm. So you get this trough that comes down and you see this tilt to the right, tilt to the east. It's much easier to see this on a vorticity map. Here we go. Okay. This right here is what we call a positive tilt. Kind of, it's facing out there towards the west. Then we go into what we call a neutral tilt, where this pulls cold air straight down, really kind of vertically, but or horizontally. And then you're going to see it pull negative. So this now is our trough going negative. So now we are tilted to the right or to the east. What does this do? It pulls warm air up ahead of the system, up through this corridor, and it sinks cold air behind. And what this does is creates a lot of lift and a lot of instability through this region. And it really amplifies all of your... It really creates a ton of vorticity and a ton of convection. And this is when you get when you get a steep temperature and pressure gradient, because you have a severe amount of warm and cold air clashing in a very, very small area. And so this is when you get these big storms with strong winds. And typically on the north and western side of these systems, you have a blizzard right through here during winter. Because that's where all the cold air is. And out ahead of it, this is a big shield of warm air. So this is hot air. And behind here, this is your cold air. But the problem is the more it tilts, the more that warm air builds up ahead. So you could literally, in a scenario like this, have temperatures in the 60s right here with rain, and temperatures in the 20s right here with blizzard snow when you get that type of a tilt. Super warm air injection, super cold air injection, massive temperature gradient, big heavy snow and wind through there. severe weather and rain through this sector. And that's what's being projected by the Euro at the end of next week, which is why you see this mega snowstorm that wants to drop like 2 feet of snow across the whole country. Way too early to tell if that's going to happen or not. This is in La La Land, so that's why we're not going to entertain it too much. It's exactly what happened with the 9-3 snowstorm. Double it and give it to someone else. Missouri is done. I hear you. Just want 2+ either tonight or this weekend in Philly. It's going to be tough, Makefield. Not impossible. So if we do look, we can take a look at our latest HRRR for Philly. We'll go over here. I'd be surprised if it even put an inch into Philly. Here's our latest HRRR. Half inch into Philly, maybe. You can see right here it says 0.6. And, you know, if we were to look at our latest Euro for the snowstorm after, it likes 0.1, a dusting. This is going to be the big one that comes in after. So this is going to be the one we're watching on the tail end. This one right here. Early next week. Boom. What? Look at that. That would be ridiculous. Yeah, I was saying, I was in my office today, and everyone's like, we're getting 2 to 4 inches tomorrow. And it says it on my weather app, and I was like, guys, they know I do weather stuff. And I'm like, guys, you're not gonna. And they're like, you're gonna be wrong, Connor. They're like, what are you gonna say when you're wrong tomorrow? And I was like, I'm not gonna say anything because I'm not gonna be wrong. 5% chance I'm wrong. 5% chance I'm wrong. How much snow is PA getting tonight? You really need to elaborate there. Because PA is a huge state. So you can see here, I would take our Euro. Northeast PA could see 1 to 2 inches. The rest of the state, a dusting to an inch is most likely. Mezzo, talk to me. Yeah. What? Wait, big... Half-inch hail, by the way, falling to your east. Bowling. Okay, guys. Okay, yeah, I'll let them know. I want to see if I can get some updates on this. Thanks for letting me know. Okay. All right, I'll let them know. Thanks, bye. All right, that was a pretty important call. I want to talk to you guys about something. We are getting, and you can see it happening here, some pretty significant instability right now. Moving up towards Bowling Green. Let me see if I can get into here. So we're getting some pretty, our soundings are seeing some pretty potential significant instability through this region. I-65 to the north and east is what Mezzo said. So that's going to be pushing up, I believe, through this region right here specifically. So I'll have to look at the soundings. But we may end up with the possibility of seeing EF1, EF2 plus through this region. The soundings are kind of going off right now. So I would say anyone in here, Portland, Tennessee, up towards Bowling Green, you guys know who you are, up out towards Campbellsville, Kentucky, and potentially a little bit farther off, Somerset, off into the north and east. We're starting to get an interesting look there. I do want to see if I can get some updated soundings, but let me go to our HRRR. 1 second, guys. Mesomat, MESOMATT. He's another content creator on here, YouTube, and I'm on his team, and we, yeah, another great creator to go follow. Let me take a look at some of this stuff here. Some significant forecasted cape. Let's get into here. Let me actually take a look. I want to dig into this a little bit further. Give me 1 second, guys. I haven't used this as much. Let's look at... Well, give me a second, guys. Can I get soundings on here is my question. One second, guys. You know, it doesn't look too intense on our SKU-T maps. This is the region we're worried about right through here. Let's see here. Some pretty strong winds. We'll get back to that in a little bit. I have some things I have to look at. Best timing is between midnight and 6 a.m. according to Mezzo Matt. He knows his stuff when it comes to tornadoes, guys. So we're looking at. So here, let's get back onto this map here. So Matt, if I'm correct, I-65 is that what connects right here, Nashville to Bowling Green? This highway right here. So this would kind of be our watch area. Okay, so this would kind of be our watch area for potentially something stronger than what we were expecting, which is an EF0, EF1 tornado. So through this region. Okay. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. So we'll watch it. Right now we're looking pretty good. Let me make sure I have my let me make sure I have my watches and warnings on here. You guys can't see it over on TikTok, but you can see it on YouTube. I'm just gonna I'll let you know though. Let me just make sure I have my watches and warnings on here. Weather alerts, tornado warnings. Okay, I have all that turned on, so we'll see if we get anything. Okay, and let me actually do this as well. Let me actually do mesoscale discussions. Interesting. Let me see. Weather alerts. Tropical winter. 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to finish setting this up. Severe weather. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Let's get back to it. I'm going to be watching this throughout the night. Snow totals for Northeast, South Dakota, Friday into Saturday. Let's get back in here. Here's our 18Z of the Euro. This is going to be the best model to look at for it. So we can go over up to North Central, and nothing major expected. Actually, I think this is our ensemble. So let's go here. There you go. So first system. What is this? This doesn't look correct. Let's go to our Kuchera. There we go. First system, southeast, 3 to 4. 3 to 5, potentially, southeast, South Dakota. Actually, no, our first system would be really not much. So this would be... Well, here's our Saturday. 2 to 5 in the southeast, and then you can see the storm behind it. This is getting a little bit far out, but the storm... That Tuesday into Wednesday storm potentially would be your big one. Maybe 6 inches. We can take a look here. Let's go over to our Euro. 18Z. So, first storm right here. Friday night into Saturday. Again, 3 to 5 inches possibly in southeastern South Dakota. And interestingly enough, and this might have been because of the 12Z. Yeah, I don't know why it's thinking this is going to bring you such heavy snowfall. I think Saturday is going to be your biggest snowfall. We'll see if you get anything after that. Santiago Connor's ignored me the whole stream. I'll say it again. I'm not ignoring anyone, guys. I have hundreds of people on my stream. Sometimes I forget to respond to someone, but I have never ignored anyone. It's just not seeing it. Is Northern Virginia getting snow? It possibly could. The trend on the Euro is to take snow out of Northern Virginia, but the GFS disagrees. The GFS has it to the south. I've said, so usually I would agree with the Euro trend. I'm favoring right now that we're going to see the Euro and GFS average out, which would still keep some snow in the Northern Virginia, maybe a 2 to 4 inch range, with that storm early next week. Is Nashville, Tennessee getting snow next week? I don't see it happening. Is it? It's possible. We'll see. I don't see it happening, but it's next week. It's very likely you're not gonna. How much snow for Binghamton, New York? How much snow for Binghamton, New York for this snowstorm tomorrow? Yeah, I guess we can go take a look up there in Binghamton real quick. Let's look at our 18Z Euro for Binghamton. Right now, Binghamton's like right in here. It's let me zoom in. Is it out? It's a little bit out. Yeah, a little bit just to the west of that notch. So doesn't really want the Euro doesn't really want to put any snow into Binghamton an inch. I think you guys might overperform though. We'll see. We'll see. Right now, the Euro thinks an inch. We can look at our HRRRs real quickly as well for Binghamton. Let's go to the northeast. Here's the latest from our HRRR. We'll go Kuchera. Same thing, inch. The Euro. They both agree. They both agree about an inch, so not expecting much from this first system. Are you predicting today or next week? I'm just going back and forth, depending on what people are asking. What's up, Santiago? Northern Indiana is getting hammered with freezing rain. Currently? Yeah, I mean, I can see a little bit of... I can see Fort Wayne right now looks like it has a decent amount of freezing rain over it. Just to the south, or South Bend and to the south has some... you've got some moving through Indianapolis, some and then Marion out to the east. You've got some freezing rain also, some decent freezing rain moving into West Virginia right now as well, north and West Virginia. And some decent freezing rain moving out towards Wheeling, Ohio as well, towards New Martinsville, West Virginia. Utah? Well, you could see some good snow right here. We'll see. Let's take a look. We'll take a look at our 18Z Euro for our Rocky Mountains out there in the west. I'll go to the Four Corners real quick so you guys can see it a little bit better. So this would be some pretty good snow into Utah. This would actually be Friday into Saturday. I guess you could get some snow down into Salt Lake. This looks like mostly elevation snow. We can go back to our 12Z. There's there's 2 low pressure systems that want to move through here next week. You can see there. This is what you guys should be paying attention to and seeing if this continues, because this would be huge snowfall for low elevation in Utah as well. And I believe this looks like this would be a Wednesday. Specifically, the potential for a major winter storm through Utah. This would be Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. And then maybe another one right behind it on Friday. Wednesday through Friday. We'll see. That Wednesday system looks major, though, for Utah. But the Southwest Four Corners region, this is a little bit far out, but this would be a ton. This would be inches and inches of rain potentially down here and feet of snow for the mountains. And this would be low elevation snow out in the Colorado Plains and in the low elevation areas of Utah as well. Middle to late next week. After the severe weather next week in the south, do we see a major cool down and possible snow? Well, if sometimes you get severe weather, a lot of the times you get severe weather because there's cold air behind it. You can see the cold air pushing. This is your severe weather. So a lot of times that you do cool down a little bit after severe weather. It has to do with the front moving through. This one, the ridge wants to hold, unfortunately. But you can see at the end of this run, this would be a huge cool down in the southeast. This is just too far out. There's not enough model consensus on this happening yet. But if this were to happen, this would be a major cool down. And yes, a chance for snow in the south again. Yeah. It's a little too far out to know for sure if it's going to happen. Not expecting much in New Jersey right now. Tomorrow or through this weekend. Again, we're seeing 1 to 3 inches maybe with both storms combined. New Jersey obviously is a big target. We'll see what happens with our early next week storm. You could see high end a foot, low end a couple inches. That's the storm we're really paying attention to. Is the snow 0 Euro had today possible in New York? Tuesday it had. Wait, is the snow 0 Euro had today possible in the New York area for Tuesday? Well, yeah, if it continues to shift north, it would be bigger snow in New York City. My son is going to weather camp this summer. He loves weather. Heck yeah, Carly. That's awesome. I want to go to weather camp. What the heck? That sounds so fun. Tell me, Indiana has lightning right now. Yeah, here it is. Some pretty decent thunderstorms to the north of Indianapolis, and to the north and to the east. And you see all of this. Look at that. Lots of lightning. It's not really thunder snow because it's just ice that you have falling, but yeah. Oh, I see where Evansville is. Pretty close to Owensboro. A lot of chat already answered me, but do you think school delays in New York City could happen tomorrow? No, I don't think so. Not impossible, but I don't think so. I have a 2-hour delay for school in northern New Jersey. Is it possible if I get off from school? They gave you a delay in northern New Jersey for this storm? I didn't even think you'd get a delay. Sometimes they want to be better safe than sorry. That's good. I mean, this storm, the latest Euro shows the potential for an overperformance in New Jersey, in northern New Jersey. It's going to be messy. You can see right here, this is the 7 a.m. time frame. This is the 7 a.m. period right here. So it's going to be messy. I guess they probably want to make sure that the roads, in case there's an overperformance, the roads are good for the buses. Yeah, red is ice, purple's mixing, blue is snow, green is rain, and then, your yellows and reds are heavier rain. Charlotte and Las Vegas, what are you looking for? Florida's going to be nice and dry and hot this weekend. The whole state. Yeah, right? Santiago, this is way more fun than school. Oliver, I answered that question. Oliver, I answered that question. I don't know if you were up, but I answered you. How's Minneapolis snowstorm looking? Second one's looking good. Second one's looking promising. Second one, we're still thinking 6 to 9 inches is possible through the Twin Cities. That would be your very early, late Friday, early Saturday, late Friday through Saturday snowstorm, 6 to 9 inches. Who knows? You could overperform with those temperatures. Yeah, Virginia's in a tough spot to call. Virginia and Maryland, Delaware. Tough spot to call. Love a good 6 to 9 inches. Um, listen, I just read that the wrong way. Yeah. Oh, snow. Okay. Yeah, me too. So we're getting there's there's so many dirty joke opportunities with forecasting snow and all this stuff. Local news going crazy. Mercer County, New Jersey schools closed some. Yeah, I think they're overreacting in New Jersey, but there's a signal in some of these models. If an overperformance were to happen, which is a possibility, yes, you would not want kids. They usually do it mainly because of buses. That's what happened in Florida too. Sometimes, and it can happen in Midwestern states. If wind's too high, they'll can't like we would have tropical storms hit, and it's just like a light rain, but there's just too high of a wind, and they'd cancel it because buses and busing kids around is not good. They do not handle ice well or wind well, and a lot of times kids ride to buses are the real reason that you get your school canceled. Because if it was just the parents taking them, they'd be like, too bad, get them to school. Skagit County, Washington. They closed in Pennsylvania too? Wow. I wish my office could close. I have to go into the office. Grand Rapids looks pretty good. Let's go. Let's take a look here into... I saw someone ask about Washington. We'll go up there in a second. This second storm for Grand Rapids, again, this looks like your snow producer. I believe... Come on, load, computer. Good evening, Connor. What's up, Tad? My work was canceled for 7:30. The problem is I can work remote, but I think I wonder if I got to check if I got an email about that. Let's see here. Yeah, so here's your second storm. This is the latest from the Euro. It's only putting about 5 inches into Grand Rapids. Our GFS, which we're getting our 00Z from. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff, chat. But our 18Z of our GFS, I think it... Yeah, so, I mean, I guess I'd say the consensus is 3 to 5 then. I'd say the consensus is 3 to 5. I have a feeling you may overperform, though, just because they have this weird gap of snow, both models. They show a little bit of snow up here, a little bit of snow here. That's probably going to come together. You'll probably have something falling in between that. Snow's hard to forecast. Sometimes they don't predict that right. You can see this little gap of snow they have here. It's treating this like lake effect bands. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we may just get a bigger bulk of snow down there to the south. How much snow next week for Bucks County? All the models don't agree. I think the best guesstimation for Bucks County, you probably have a better... Well, I think the best guesstimation right now is somewhere between 4 to 6 inches. But there are high-end models like the Euro, like I showed earlier, who all want a foot. There are some runs that all want a foot through southeastern PA. So I'll watch it. High school kids driving, true. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely having merch soon. I'm working on that. Phil, if you're in here, you hear that? We're going to get some fun merch. I just want like hoodies and beanies. I love my hoodies. Where is our stickers? I made stickers, and apparently you guys can't see them. So I made stickers. I tried to add them. I'll have to go back in. I can probably look at that tonight when I get off. I literally made multiple stickers, and you guys can't even see them or access them. I'm blaming the TikTok ban and it coming back. I swear to God, it messed me up. I can see the stickers, but you guys can't. And I've been like going on YouTube videos to try to figure out how to fix that, but I haven't figured it out yet. Any more chances for snow in the Nashville, Tennessee area? 100%, Brandy. We really got to watch what happens in the third week of February because not only do we see this crazy look on our just straight up model runs right here, this one right here, but screw that. That's out in La La Land. Our teleconnections are giving us a pretty good sign of the chance for snow farther to the south between this time frame here. Here's our European ensemble. This whole time frame here, we can see that shift south of the snow, and our NAO staying pretty negative all the way through the 19th now. So that's a lot of time to get snow back down into the south. It's about 2 weeks or more. How much ice for Bucks County? We're only expected to get a glaze, but ice is really hard to predict. So if you're waking up and driving to work early in the morning like I am, I'd be very cautious because we could end up with a little bit more because, again, ice is tough to predict. Yali. Outlook for Maryland this upcoming week. Well, we've talked about Maryland a lot in the Mid-Atlantic a lot this stream, and that's because specifically if we do see this warm sector, if we do see this trough dig a little bit farther and we'll see a warm air pushed up. We'll see warm air pushed up into the Mid-Atlantic, and Maryland, Virginia, Delaware are going to struggle to see any snow. I'm really interested to see what our GFS sees right now because we'll see. I think the euro is going to trend back south, and we'll have a good sign from the GFS based on how this loads in right now. Because there are still some models that do like to bury Maryland in snow early next week. Kevin, gonna kind of be safe. God bless. Same to you, Kevin. Don't skip, Santiago. In the later future, can Orlando get a big snowstorm? Orlando has seen accumulating snow before. Orlando will see accumulating snow again. It's just tough. Miami, like I always say, Miami has seen accumulating snow. Yeah, Orlando is going to see accumulating snowfall in my lifetime, guaranteed again. Probably multiple times. But it's like a once every few decades thing. Will Baltimore do well next week with snow? Yeah, I've answered that region a ton. It's tough to tell. Why haven't they issued a severe thunderstorm watch in Kentucky? We have warnings, no watch. Really? Oh, well, I see watches right now. I see severe thunderstorm. I see severe thunderstorms warnings, right. 50-mile-per-hour winds, corner size hail. This is kind of the area I really should bring this up on the screen so you guys can see it. I guess I'll pull this up. Give me 1 second here. Let me switch this so you guys can see it. Let me go properties. So here's what I'm looking at, guys. Yeah, thunderstorm warning right here, just off to the west of Bowling Green. Let me actually switch this into our single site radar real quick, so we can get some good details. This is 100% a hail core about to go over Wolf Lick and just to the north of Lewisburg. We can take a look at our high-res velocity. Strong velocities in there. You can actually see a little bit of shear through here, but I want a better image of this. Let's see. This is rotation, somewhat of rotation there. I don't know how significant. Here's our base velocity. Let's see. Correlation coefficient. Not seeing anything too significant. One second, guys. I mean, there's not a tornado on the ground. That's the good news. There's definitely not a tornado on the ground, but there is an extremely strong thunderstorm just to the north of Lewisburg. That's probably it says 50-mile-per-hour winds. It's probably whipping gusts over 70 with this type of look. And then you can see this is hail right here. That's hail. So we'll see. This could intensify. it's got some good clean air out ahead of it. So I would worry about this down the road, having the potential to put a tornado on the ground. Also, this is very far north. This system up here too, moving towards Radcliffe, Kentucky, and I want to take a look at this really quickly as well. Just because this is important, I want to make sure everyone's safe up here. Possible some rotation back there. Nothing significant. You can see almost what looks like a debris field here. This is that might be hail from this system right here. We could have some hail through here as well, just to the west of Vine Grove and to the southwest of Radcliffe, moving off to the east. Real quickly, I just want to take a look at these systems, guys. Another little, this doesn't look too impressive. We don't have a tornado on the ground right now, but we have some pretty strong thunderstorms pretty early. I would say pretty early in the night. This is earlier than I expected. I expected this really, like these type of looks here to start coming into the frame, honestly, closer to 2-3 in the morning. So this is pretty early for that. And this is going to begin to intensify from this point on. So again, from Clarksville up to Bowling Green, out towards Somerset, Kentucky, this region, we really need to be watching out for tornadoes overnight. This is the most dangerous time to see severe weather like this, because people are sleeping and they're unaware that there could be a tornado on the ground near them. So anyone in this region, or if you have any friends, family in this region, you just should sleep with the weather alerts on, the sound on, because this is a pretty early start, and we're going to see most of our activity between now probably and 6 to 7 in the morning. For this one right here, I agree. This one right to the north of Lewisburg, I think there should be a tornado watch. I agree. You can see this right here. This is potentially a cell trying to get itself together. I don't see. You can see the lightning in here. This is kind of a hail core here as well. Lightning associated with this as well is where some you'd expect it, but I agree. I think there should be a tornado warning, and it's literally in their slight risk zone at this point. So yeah, hopefully they do put a tornado watch down soon on that. All right, let me get back to chat. We'll watch that. And let me switch back here, guys. Give me a second. All right. Is it raining in Atlanta, Georgia? My weather forecast saying. Yeah, looks like it might be. I don't really see much severe weather down there though. How's Minnesota tonight and this weekend? You guys could get a little bit of snow on the back end of this thing tonight. You're not expecting much with this system. The storm that's moving in after, though, here we go. GFS continuing to load in. Okay, we can actually see the latest GFS snow totals, projected totals for, speaking of Minneapolis, for the second system now. Still putting a pretty good target of 6 to 9 inches into Minneapolis. So that hasn't really changed much. Still looking the same. Big snow into Boston. Big snow into upstate New York. Actually, shifted that snow a little bit farther south in upstate New York. So same type of look out there. This has not changed much from our 12Z Euro, if I'm correct. Yeah, pretty consistent. So we'll let that continue to load in. Let me pull this up here. And you said for Southwest Ohio next week? Yeah, I mean this right here. This is our 18Z. This is our 18Z of the Euro, and it wants a decent amount of snow in the Southwest Ohio. So we can actually look back, see what our 12Z thinks, so we can get a bit bigger picture. Our most recent Euro. Oops, let me pull this up. 2 to 5 inches on our last Euro. I think our 18Z actually puts more through. We really need to wait though because this isn't going far enough out. Yeah, our new Euro is actually thinking. You can see this is the end of the run, but you can already tell the 18Z Euro wants to put closer to 6 to 9 inches as well. I would say down there in Southwest Ohio. We'll see what happens with our 00Z tonight. We're going to see a major change with the Euro, I think, with that. Bryson, I appreciate you. Here, again, here is our most updated. Let me see if we have it any more updated from the National Weather Service. Here is our expected amount from this first system. Again, it expects potentially another 2 inches into Minneapolis. We'll see. Not expecting much from this first storm. You can see out here. This is an inch. These light blues are this is like half an inch. This is into 2, 3. The blue gets not much. Second storm though, and it's not showing it far enough out. You can see this is the National Weather Service. This isn't loading all the way through, but again, talking about the Twin Cities, talking about central Wisconsin, Michigan. This is going to bring a lot of snow to your area, very likely. Let's see. Let me pull back in this latest European ensemble. Actually, we'll look at our GFS ensemble since we have the new one loading it as well. Kansas City, yeah, these new runs, including the Euro and GFS do agree on a potential strip of snow from Kansas City through St. Louis. We'll see. They're starting to agree on the potential for like 2 to 5 inches through that region. And their first model consensus came at the 18Z today. Thank you, Yali. Yeah, right now. I mean, you know, at the end of these runs, these ensembles put a ton of snow down there in the north. I mean, here. Well, the Euro puts the newest deterministic GFS and Euro do paint some snow into North Carolina, but it's too far out to take it too seriously. I need to pick up a bus. Should I drive from Baltimore to Vegas on Friday? Or not a good idea? Baltimore to Vegas? Oh my gosh. I would definitely... Let me see this. If you were to leave on Friday... I mean, you'd probably drive through some slight thunderstorms. I mean, yeah, that's not the worst time to leave. There are worse times. I would get out of there before this storm moves in on Saturday. So Friday's much better. Since when is St. Louis getting snow? Well, we can see here. Here's our latest European, and this would be for this would be around Tuesday morning, Monday evening, Tuesday morning. The latest Euro does put some snow through St. Louis. Our Euro in this latitude is going to be the best predictor of snow. So not much, 1 to 3 potentially. And our GFS, I believe, now actually started to agree. Oh, and we do have the 00Z loaded through that storm as well now, I think. Not quite yet, but we're almost there. But we can go back to our 18Z, and we started to get some model consensus on that snow through Kansas City and St. Louis, I think. Yep, you can see right here. So both these models now have a little bit of snow into St. Louis and Kansas City. And we like to see model consensus. You know that, chat. I like to see the models agreeing on something instead of disagreeing. Because that means they're dealing with the data in the same way. Upper Peninsula of Michigan, blizzard. I don't see it. I don't see blizzard. Heavy snow, yes, but blizzard, no. You could see. I mean, you could see 6 inches to a foot of snow, but it's not going to be a blizzard because you just don't have that much of a pressure gradient up there. You're not going to have the. You want there to be some pretty sustained, strong winds to be considered a blizzard. So, Any severe storms coming to Chicago anytime soon? We'll have to see what happens with this. As this gets closer, I'm worried we could see a bigger ice storm through Chicago with this Saturday. So I'd watch out for Saturday. It doesn't look too threatening right now, but we got to watch that. And then, after that, this we'll see. This is too far out. This could be snow for Chicago, but this obviously, which is very far out. This is not gonna take this track. Okay, it never does take the initial track. Do I think we're gonna get a digging of a trough and something like this? Probably. This could end up being a big, huge blizzard for Chicago, or it could shift out east and it could end up being a big, huge blizzard for the Mid Atlantic. It's probably not going to take this exact track that this model thinks. So I'd say if you're in Chicago, this looks like it'll probably be your storm, or this is the storm I'd be watching for potential. I'd be watching this for potential. But that's 200 is very far out. 250 hours out. It's too far to entertain too much. That would be more towards 16th, 17th. Is there a storm for Indiana? This, southern Indiana. We'll see what happens with this early next week. That's what we were just talking about. Kansas City, St. Louis, southern Indiana, southern Illinois. Southern Illinois, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, potentially all getting some snow. And again, we do need to watch this time frame. 16th through the 17th of February, we're going to be in an extremely negative AO and negative NAO again, which is just very favorable for storms to continue to move through this region. So it's something to watch out for. We talked about this. We've been talking about this for a week. That once we started pushing into middle of February, stuff was going to really start to kick off. It's a little earlier than I expected. There is a current blizzard warning. Is it in the state? Not in the States, right? Well. Yeah, up here in the north. Oh, sorry, you guys can't see it on TikTok. We had some winter weather warnings earlier up in the northwest, but those are gone. Still watching this severe thunderstorm warning in Kentucky. No tornadoes on the ground right now, though, which is good. Tons of freezing rain falling through Ohio, West Virginia, and eastern in Indiana currently. How much snow for Cleveland area tonight? Let's take a look. What does our National Weather Service think? Once we're really close, this can get pretty accurate. Why is it not expecting any? Yeah, not expecting any. We can take a look at our latest HRRR. This will give us a good idea. I think you guys might get a little bit, but National Weather Service doesn't think so. Here is our latest HRRR Kuchera snow. Let's go into the 0.3 actually. Yeah, it's not predicting any either. So, just too much of a warm shield down here to the south, keeping that snow to the north. Let's get back here. Is it possible for the storm to shift down south next week? Too far to tell, hopefully. Yeah, it is. The early next week storm, this one right here that's on the screen. Yeah. Yeah, it might shift south to agree with the GFS. I've been watching this GFS load because I want to see. I'm really interested to see what it does with that because that's going to be a big impact storm. Here's the latest GFS. It's actually getting much more bullish on snow, I think. Again, thinking potentially some big snow through St. This is even increasing snow chances through Kansas, central to southern Missouri, southern Illinois as well as this loads in. Houston, I don't know what to say. Pretty hot and pretty dry for a little bit here until we potentially get into early next week. You could see that severe weather start in Houston and then move off to the north and east. Right now, our Euro likes that late Monday into Tuesday potential for some severe weather in southeastern Texas, then moving off into the southeast. This would be a big issue with flash flooding. I can tell you that bulky of a frontal boundary. See you later, Celine. Have a good night. What am I ending to stream? What's up? What is the Jersey Railroader? A little bit here. It's been a long, tough week of work, so I was able to do like 2-3 hour streams for a while, but it's just been I've been getting drained from work. Having fun. I appreciate you, Eddie. Thank you. The new GFS moved the Saturday snow more south. I didn't think it did. We can look. So there's the 00Z. And then here's the 18Z. I actually think the 18Z looks farther south. Then, oh wait, 00Z. Let me move this forward. Why does this keep doing this? Pivotal weather sometimes, I swear. All right, it's not loading. We'll let it load. Let me get an update on any severe weather. Still looking okay through Kentucky. Still looking okay. 1 second, guys. One second. Yeah, here, let me compare this really quickly. Here's our 00Z. Did it move snow farther south? Okay, there's the 0Z. Here's the 8. Here was the 18. That looks about the same to me. But what we're interested in seeing is this. It's a little bit bulkier for snow, I think. Let's go to our 18Z. Okay, it's moving snow farther south for our later system, it looks like. It's getting southern. That's about the same, This is our latest GFS, guys. That's why I'm looking at it as it's loading. Still keeping, so what it's not doing, this is important for people who want to know what this system is going to do next week, and this could affect a lot of people. What it's not doing is, thank you for the follows, thank you for the subs, guys. I see you. Does he ever talk about Texas, or did I miss it? Yeah, there's not much going on in Texas. So there is potentially early next week, and I just spoke about that. Southeastern Texas, Monday and Tuesday, could get in on some severe weather. So we don't have any kind of watches. We don't have any SBC outlook on it yet, though, but we may get one soon. So the GFS is not shooting up this warm shield like the Euro is. It's keeping this flow flat. And what this is better for is just a wider range of snow through this region, instead of what would happen with potentially the Euro is you would see a lot of ice and mixing pushing up into this region, specifically the mid-Atlantic. And our GFS is still keeping this flat. So, I've talked about how a lot of times our Euro and our GFS average out. And if that happens, we're still going to see potentially good snow into DC and Baltimore, which people have been asking about. So this is not loaded fully yet. So we'll see how that comes in. Hannah, how's snow in Delaware looking next week? It's saying 5 to 7 on the app. Still possible 5 to 7, yeah. I think it's a good estimation. Again, if the Europeans more right... Hop off stream and get on for it. I don't have time to play video games anymore. I wish. I literally have a gaming PC. Like I said, if the European is right, and there is the warm shield right there that the European shows, Delaware could end up with no snow. But the GFS has continued to hold south. I do think the Euro 00Z tonight, it's a gut feeling. I think it's going to come back down south just slightly. So Delaware may be spared and may still get snow instead of annoying ice or rain. How accurate is the Apple weather app on snow? It's horrible. It can be right. Sometimes it's right. But like I always say, a broken clock is right twice a day. It does horrible on precipitation because it doesn't use the same models. I can tell which models that the Apple weather app's using. Because sometimes, like today, on my Apple weather app all day, it said we were going to get 2 to 4 inches tomorrow. And everyone I work with is like, we're not going into the office tomorrow. We're going to get 4 inches of snow. I was telling them, I was like, we're not. We're probably not even going to get a dusting in Philly. Or we'll get a dusting in Philly, maybe. It was going off of the 12Z HER, and it shouldn't have been. When every other model disagreed. So the app just cherry picks which latest run from which model it wants to use, which is stupid. It should stick with the Euro mid-range to long-range on precipitation. Once it's within 12 hours to switch the HRRR, it should be programmed to understand which models are best at what range, and it's not. It just picks random ones all the time. It constantly favors the GFS for winter storms, which is stupid. It's really dumb. Apple weather app is dumb. It does okay with temperatures, but temperatures are way easier to forecast. And again, you can see Texas hot, dry. Here is where things start getting interesting. Monday into Tuesday, we need to watch some severe weather pushing through eastern Texas, and potentially some flash flooding. And central, you can see here actually on this is our latest Euro, I think 18Z Euro. This could start back towards Austin, or not Austin. I always think Austin's super far out east. San Angelo, what's back there? Midland, and could sweep across Texas. So we'll probably see an SBC severe weather outlook on this in the next couple days for a lot of this region. What's our latest GFS? You see here. GFS has pulled back significantly on this snow. It actually puts heavier snow down here into DC, Baltimore, Delaware, Northern Virginia. You can see pretty heavy snow through Kansas City, decently heavy snow through St. Louis, and then northern Kentucky, central to south Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. Someone asked about Minnesota. You guys are expected to get a decent amount of snow, maybe 6 to 9 inches with this snowstorm on Friday into Saturday. This snowfall map doesn't seem to reflect what their future rate are. I mean, if you saw snow falling for this long of a period of time, you guys would probably see bigger totals than that. But you can see what the GFS, I can already see what it's wanting to do on the back end. Here's a secondary trough, and this is going to be a secondary storm on the back end, so we'll see how this loads in. Confused how it keeps going up and down. It's not really. I mean, the GFS is favoring it farther south. The Euro is favoring it farther north. Eventually, they'll come together. That's actually more typical. The GFS favoring a farther south pattern, while the Euro favors farther north. Do you think we will see the 50% risk for severe weather that may happen with that storm? Crazy. If you're talking about this, the storm like next week, like this one right here, potentially. Will that push the weather system out of Wisconsin then on the 11th and 12th? There's not really anything expected up there the 11th and 12th in Wisconsin. See you, Santiago. When is the cool down supposed to happen for the Southeast? Well, I mean, if our teleconnections are correct, and our global models, which do have somewhat decent consensus right now, is correct, between the 16th and 18th, probably 17th and 18th would be your best chance. Here we go. Here's our latest GFS, and it is now agreeing with the Euro, wanting to bring some more troughing back down into here. This is setting up for another probably maybe back-to-back Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, Northeastern snowstorms here. What was our Euro doing at that time frame? Yeah, so the GFS is actually taking that trough and throwing it way farther to the south. Interesting. A lot of interesting stuff happening in the models here. I wish I could fast forward time. I do talk about the West Coast. The problem is, Kelly, 90% of the questions aren't about the West Coast. So the odds that when I look up, and I just look at the next question and answer it, the odds when I look up it's a question about the West Coast is just way less because there's, well, first of all, way less people. I mean, the majority of our population lives out here. So there's way less people on the West Coast and there's way less people from the West Coast in my chat. But when I see questions about the West Coast, and that's the question I look at, I answer it. I mean, and also, you know, when you're talking about the West Coast is experiencing some good snowfall right now. But when it comes to severe weather, ice storms, all the craziest weather, it's just been favoring the East for the majority of winter because of the pattern we've been in. So, yeah, national blend. I haven't showed that in a while, huh, guys? National blend of models. Let's go back to our 00Z. For those of you who don't know, this takes all of our models, what it considers their best runs, and averages them together. So this is something really good to look at. This can be kind of give you the most accurate mid to long range forecast. So here is basically over the next 12 days where our national blend thinks is going to see the most snow. Big target up here, obviously, through portions of South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and then obviously through portions of the northern mid-Atlantic, through PA up through New England. Big target there. You can see we're starting to get the potential, a bigger look at potentially Kansas and Nebraska seeing some good snow, and of course out here. I mean, we're having a lot of storm systems move into the west. Sierra Nevada and Cascades absolutely getting dunked on with snow. Like some areas are going to see over 10 feet of snow out here. And again, you can see what it wants to move down here. The national blend also is highlighting this potential heavy rain, heavy snow event for Arizona and New Mexico as well. That big Colorado snow, potentially right before Valentine's Day. JJ, do you have a girlfriend? I have a wife. She was my girlfriend at one point, but I decided to upgrade her. What models do you think are the most accurate? The Euro is the most accurate mid to long range with snow. The GFS is the most accurate in the subtropics and tropics with hurricanes. GFS typically is the most accurate short range with severe weather. HRRR is typically the best within 12 hours. The NAM typically does the best within 24 to 48 hours with all sorts of weather, but it hasn't done good this season. I don't ever really take the Canadian seriously. I think it's a silly little model that just is off in doing its own thing. The Icon can be actually a better snow model than the GFS sometimes in the mid to upper latitudes. Connor to Connor, let's talk Minnesota. Not much to talk about. This first snow system isn't expected to give you much. Maybe an inch or two overnight in Minneapolis tonight. I don't think it's going to drop much. But your Friday into Saturday snow system, a lot of these models are favoring like a 6 to 9 inch type event in Minneapolis, but you could overperform with that. And if you're not in the Twin Cities, this is, I mean, you can see on the national blend, it's really, unless you're very far north or on the border of Iowa, you're expecting to see a decent snowfall with that Friday to Saturday system. Been a crazy winter, Christine? Yeah. Although you guys have been above average for a lot of winter, I think, in Utah. Anything coming to South Carolina? Not really. We're watching some severe weather potential next Tuesday in South Carolina, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Obviously, the Euro has this crazy snow system way out here in the future that could bring snow back into the southeast as well. I'm not fully buying it yet. All right, we have some more updates on our latest GFS. Look at this training of storms from the GFS. This is what I'm talking about with February. We're going to continue to see these models pump out crazy things, and some are going to happen. Here's our first storm that's moving through now. Here's our second. Here's our third right here. Here's a potential fourth right here. Ice. Here's a potential fifth right here, right behind it. You know, the GFS really likes this area for snow moving forward, and I feel like Chicago may end up getting a big snowstorm out of one of these. There's just so many lined up because of our negative NAO. And negative AO combination that we have over the next 2 weeks, which really, this is what it does with your storm tracks. The negative Arctic oscillation slows your polar jet and pushes the cold air down here, while your negative NAO puts a block here and allows systems to crawl up the coast or through the Ohio Valley. So it's a really good setup for just snow and severe weather all out here through the east moving forward. So, and while we have this going on, since this AO is so negative, we're going to have cold weather that's going to be kind of sustaining up here from the west to the east coast, and we do happen to have some low pressure systems slamming into the west, so it's going to be a lot of snow for a lot of people and some severe weather down in the south. Yeah, vortex splitting is almost looking guaranteed. Here's our latest Euro. I think you may even be able to see it on the 18Z. I don't know if you can. We can go up into the stratosphere here. 50 millibar height anomaly, northern hemisphere. Yeah, you can almost see it on the 18Z. See? But if we do go to our 12Z, we still have a split. There you go. Still have a split. It's a pretty big deal. And then when it does try to get back together, it actually slides south into the United States. So we'll see. That's why, you know, our teleconnections have us going into like a super positive AO as we get into March and having a huge warm up down here. I'm not sold on that yet because of what it looks like our stratospheric polar vortex is going to do. That just doesn't. Those two things don't happen. You don't have your stratospheric polar vortex expanding to the south over the states and your AO going positive. Those are counterintuitive. Is that the word? That those are whatever. Those don't happen at the same time. Flight out of Pittsburgh with a layover in Baltimore on the 11th. Yeah, I mean, we've got a winter storm. Listen, it's out of forecasting range right now. It's very close to being in a forecasting range. In like 2 days, we'll know what this system's going to do out here, this potential big winter storm. Yeah, you could have some issues, delays, or cancellations that day. But it's not guaranteed because we're not quite yet in forecasting range. But I hope we got flight insurance. We'll see. I don't know. You could have some ice or heavy snow moving through Baltimore on the 11th. $110 snow in Oregon. Yeah, you can see you guys can see what's happening up here in the Pacific Northwest, and I mean really just the Northwest in general. You've got below average. You've got very cold temperature anomalies sticking around up here in the Northwest for quite a while. Yeah, especially as we push out here, through the middle, into the beginning and the middle of next week. So you're going to have elevated chances for low elevation snow into cities like Portland, Boise, Seattle, all these areas out here near the coast. The West in general, we're going to have a lot of moisture moving in out there. Let's quickly, I mean, we can take a look at this. Let's just look at our quantitative precipitation. So move forward about a week. This is some pretty good precipitation out here in the West. Obviously, this is just ridiculous, but that's because this is our negative NAO. This is what it does. This is where it keeps our storm tracks. I got to get up early for work, guys. I appreciate you being in here. I know I can't get to everyone's questions. I never can. It's impossible. Laddie, having fun. I appreciate you guys. Thank you to anyone who gifted, anyone who followed, anyone who subbed. If I didn't answer your question, I might have answered it in the video I posted today. I post updates on all of this stuff every day. I did talk about Arizona, New Mexico, Southwest, and Northwest a little bit in my video today. As you can see, Florida's staying dry and warm moving forward here. Looks like Western Texas is as well. But I'll likely be going live 2 times on Saturday and Sunday. I'm posting a couple of videos both of those days too, because we're going to have a lot of information about the very, very significant storms that are going to be pushing through the Ohio Valley up through the Mid-Atlantic on those days. But 1 second here. But I appreciate you guys being in here. And I will be back on live tomorrow. Like I always am. I'll be posting more updates on all of this stuff. What's going on with the Vortex, Marie? Yeah, it's splitting. What does my blue sign say about? Well, that one says on air. The one on the left says WASD. It's just like, you know, the keys on your keyboard you use to play video games. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I know I can't get to everyone's questions. I'm sorry. I literally, and I'm never ignoring anyone. I look up, I see a question, and I answer it. I'm not favoring in an area. I'm looking up, I'm seeing a question, and I'm answering it. Obviously, if someone subbed, I try to get to my subs questions as well. I want to do more sub-only lives. I've been strained for work. I'm barely even being able to hit my 2. I hit my 2 hours of live today, but my schedule will slow down a little bit, and I think tomorrow I might hit my 3,000 hours on YouTube to be able to start my members and stuff like that, which is really cool. So I appreciate all the support on YouTube as well. Everyone, have a great night. Lots of exciting stuff happening moving forward here. Let me double check on what's going on really quickly for you guys down here. Actually, this is important. This is important because this is severe weather that's going on right now. We do not have any severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado watches, tornado warnings. Again, I just want to remind everyone that this region right here, northern Tennessee through portions of central and southern Kentucky, we could see a little bit more than we bargained for tonight. EF2 plus tornadoes, there's a chance. So be prepared. Like Mazamat said, it's looking like our soundings are starting to look a little bit more significant to the north and east of 65 here, leading up towards Bowling Green, out towards Glasgow, Columbia. So again, this region really needs to just have weather alerts on tonight. Keep your phone, have a way of being woken up, because we could see some significant severe weather or even tornadoes through this region tonight. So be aware of that. Seriously, be aware of that. All right. You guys are awesome. I will see you tomorrow. I appreciate everyone being in here. And yeah, I'll get you all the updates tomorrow. There's going to be, I'll probably make a post tonight about the 0-0 Z Euro because this is going to be